We're live.
All right, Mayor.
All right. Well, good evening, everyone. It's certainly good to welcome you to the Vinton Town Council for this Tuesday evening, September 1st. Susan, if you would call the roll and make any of the informational, pass along any of the information that you need to at this time, we'd appreciate it.
All right. Roll call for council. Councilmember Lyles.
Here.
Councilmember Mullins.
Here.
Councilmember Stovall.
Here.
Vice Mayor McCarty.
Here.
Mayor Gross.
Here.
We do have a quorum of council. Town staff that are present: Pete Peters, Susan Johnson, Ann Cantrell, Chief Drummond, Donna Collins, Joey Hunter, Chastity Barber. Also present, Jeremy Carroll, our town attorney, Debbie Adams with the Vinton Messenger, Angie Tuning with the Vinton Chamber, Jim Golden with Utility Service Partners, and Jenna Hazlett, Home Service USA. I would like to confirm that our meeting's being held in accordance with Town Ordinance Number 1016 and Amendment 28 to House Bill 29, adopted at the 2020 reconvened session of the Virginia General Assembly, and everyone present is participating by electronic means. Mayor, the meeting is yours.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, and certainly want to thank everyone for being here. We'll move on to the moment of silence. Here in Vinton, we use the moment of silence so that everyone can pray as they see fit. If you choose to pray, and I hope you will, I certainly plan to pray during that time, I would ask you to keep this country, this community, and this council meeting in your thoughts and prayers. I will close that moment of silence, and at that time we will turn it over to Councilmember Lyles for the Pledge of Allegiance. The moment of silence. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this wonderful day. We just pray that you will be with our country and our community and the council meeting tonight. And just thank you for your continued blessings. Amen. Keith, it's all yours.
Please post the flag. Think Susan went to get a flag, maybe.
It's on
I think
the
so.
it's on the live stream. It's displayed now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, folks, for that. And with that, we will move on to our upcoming community announcements. And Vice Mayor McCarty, I think, is going to handle that this evening.
Yes. Yeah, we have several going on. Got lots of stuff happening in Vinton. We have a Mingle at the Market on September the 12th with Hard Drive Crew. That's from 7 to 10. We have another one on September the 26th with Adam Rutledge. And then on October the 3rd, we have our Vinton Tober Fest, and that is from 10 to 4. There's information for that website as far as the amounts that are for members or non-members or food participants that want to participate that day. So check that out. Or you can always call our Vinton Area Chamber of Commerce, and Angie will be able to answer any of your questions. On October the 6th, we have National Night Out at the Charles R. Hill Community Center, and that's from 6 to 8. October the 10th, we also have a Mingle at the Market with the Oddfellows Band. All of those are from 7 to 10. And just to back up a little bit, on September the 17th, we have the annual golf tournament at Botetourt golf, and swim. And I think that I got all the announcements unless someone has one that I missed.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I believe that covered all that I was aware of. If it pleases council, I'd like to introduce Angie Chooney, Executive Director of the Chamber of Commerce, to provide some details on the upcoming Victoberfest, or what was once referred to as our Fall Festival, as well as make an announcement on our upcoming Christmas parade for this year. Ms. Chooney?
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and member of council. Thank you all so much for everything you do for us, and for especially all the support for the mingles that we've had. The folks in town have really enjoyed it. We've had so many new faces come through. It's been a great hit for us. So we're doing very well with them. So we appreciate all your help and support on all of those. Other things that the chamber's been doing, the last week we have been stuffing almost 600 goodie bags for our back to school teachers. That's something that the chamber has done for quite a few years now. A lot of our members donate items, and we stuff bags and give them to our Benton teachers, including Mount Pleasant and Bonsack, because they are feeder schools into our Leonberg schools. So they'll be delivered tomorrow. They got stuffed by Steppin' in Time, our dancers, our line dancers over at the senior building on Tuesdays. They've been stuffing them for a couple of weeks, so that's a huge thing for us, help for us. Also, the chamber has in the past done it, but we've done another round of it. Our menu book that we've done for, because I hit Chastity in the face, our menu book, we've produced and distributed almost 200 of those in town. They have a menu from every restaurant in the town of Benton. So folks really like to get a hold of these and are very excited. So we like to keep doing those, and it gives our restaurant, especially during this past few months, it's given our restaurant an extra boost that folks know what's on their menus. And it's also on Facebook as well. It's Eat in Benton on Facebook as well. Another thing we've done recently is a while back we had a print we commissioned for a Benton print, and we have just put it online that for Redbubble. And this is our mask that has the print on it. So you can go on Redbubble and purchase just about any kind of item that you want that has that print on it. So it has our town landmarks on it that we chose to do in the Benton print. So that's something else we've been doing. In the last few weeks, Chastity and I have been going around to Benton businesses for Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, having our businesses sign a pledge that they will stay in compliance with the CDC, and we give them a mask and took some pictures, so it'll go on the BBR Facebook page. So they're excited to be a part of that. But as well, the chamber is offering all downtown businesses a free spot at the Fall Festival. So they were all very excited to know that we're actually getting to have the Fall Festival, and that they can participate free of charge out in front of their store. So they're very excited. The Fall Festival has had so many people respond to us positively about wanting to be a vendor. We've had people come in from all over the place that we've never had before, because a lot of other events aren't taking place. So we're looking forward to a really nice event. It is October 3rd, as Sabrina said, 10 to 4. We'll have the food trucks, the craft vendors, just like we have before. But I'm going to turn it over to Chastity to talk about the logistics and how it will handle all of the compliance stuff.
Thank you. So it'll look a little bit different than the norm, of course, but we're going to put all the vendors on one side of the street. Depending on what street they're on, each vendor will be 20 feet apart instead of 10. And then every vendor will have to wear a mask and gloves. We'll go and mark the streets in the morning for each vendor to be able to do 6 foot socially distancing for their guests to come up to their tent. And then for the storefronts that want to invite them into the storefronts, they'll be able to do that in limited numbers, whatever their capacity is. So you'll see hand washing stations out and hand sanitizers all out through the town. And we'll have some entertainment on the stages from 11 to 2. that we won't have them back to back like we normally do. And the reason why is because we need to have about 10 minutes in between each act or each performer, due to us being able to like clean microphones, switch out stuff, wipe down everything, to make sure that we're doing everything we can to stay in compliance. That'll be at the municipal building stage and at the farmers market stage. So thank y'all very much for y'all's support, and without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Angie, and if Susan could put the slide up, please. Hopefully it'll work.
So we are excited to say that we are going to have a Christmas parade this year. We've decorated the office behind us to celebrate. We are very excited about this. It is going to be Vintage Benton, a unique drive-through Christmas parade. What that means, you might ask, is that instead of the parade floats traveling down the streets, the parade floats will be at a permanent site from Benton Motors all the way along the parade route as we know it. And cars will drive past those floats, and drum lines and dancers and what have you. Much like many of us have done for many years at the Elks Club in Bedford. We've driven down there and driven past the light, so it'll be much like that. We are getting the food trucks will be placed at the lineup stations, which will be on Highland and the old ball field behind Billy Bird, so that if folks want to grab a burger, hot dog, whatever we have, so they can eat in their cars or eat up there while they're waiting. And hopefully we're gonna ask folks to decorate their cars so that when they come through, they're as well decorated, and the judges will be on the municipal stage, and they'll be judging the cars. So we'll number the cars. And the chief is gonna drive the judges through the parade route beforehand so that they can judge the floats, just like they always have. So it's going to be a really neat thing. What else? Am I forgetting something?
Oh, well, we'll have all the floats exactly on the same side of the roads for the most part as Fall Festival. Each float will be approximately 40 feet apart, and that's because the longest float that we normally, or the chamber normally has, is about 53 feet. So we want to make sure that we have the spacing. I want to thank like Public Works 100% and the police department. We definitely cannot do this without you guys. And the fact that Chief is like ready to take all these judges and drive them around and make sure the route is clear and all this stuff, and me and Angie don't have to worry about that, is amazing. So thank y'all so much for the support. If y'all have any questions, feel free. Thank y'all for letting us have the time to get highlight y'all and everything.
Are there any
Wow.
questions?
Yeah. Man, that sounds great. I'm very excited about that. And it sounds like a lot of activities going on. And of course, the big thing, as you've mentioned several times, is we want to try our very best to stay in compliance with all the safety rules and regulations that we have in effect because of COVID-19. So yeah, really, really exciting times, and we just have to adapt to them. Way to go, staff.
And one more thing, Benton Baptist is taking on the task of decorating the businesses again. We're going to decorate the storefronts. So hopefully in the week before the parade and the parade evening, that as folks are driving through downtown Benton, they'll get to see all these lights and decorations in our storefronts to get them involved as well. So we're very excited about that. The folks that we talked to today downtown were very excited both about the Fall Festival and the Christmas parade, just to have the chance to be there and be open and have to celebrate things that we've always celebrated.
Yeah.
In some kind of way.
Mayor, we heard also too that Santa Claus would be on the fire truck out at Mountain View, and he might have some elves to hand out some coloring books and crayons.
Yes.
Cool.
I don't know if it's council or not, but just saying.
Well, that sounds great. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be great. Thank you, folks, for the work you've already done. For all of our departments, as per usual, have jumped in, and it's really already become a team effort. That's always exciting to see. I love the way the folks in Benton work as a team. That's great. So yeah, really exciting time. Anything further as far as events go?
No, I think that's it. I think we have postponed the Senior Expo until March again. Folks have been calling about that, so we thought it was best to do that. But other than that, we're looking forward to the rest of our mingles and our golf tournament, of course, next in September 17th. Septangie. It's Septangie. It's my birthday month. So it's Septangie, and then Fall Festival and Christmas Parade, and we're just excited and blessed that we get to be able to have these things. So thank you.
Thank you. It sounds like all of it's going to be a great blessing. All right. Thank you, folks. Exciting times in Vinton. With that, we'll move on to the next item, which is request to postpone or change the order of the agenda. Are there any requests, any changes? If not, I don't see anything listed for the consent agenda tonight. So we will move on to the awards and presentations. And I'll turn it over to Ann. I understand you want to talk about GFOA, right?
That's right. So the town of Vinton has been notified that we have received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. So that's really long. But that's the award for our CAFR. So this is our financial document that we have submitted. This one was completed in June of 2019. And so we have heard back that it has met it again. And I was going to take you in the hall to show you, but my computer's kind of stationary right now. It's kind of a hall of legacy in our department, and it started, 25 years ago prior to me, and it's really neat to be able to continue the legacy that the town started so many years ago.
Great. Well, thank you, Ann. And you're right, that's become a legacy and a great tradition here in Vinton. You guys do a great job in the finance department, and this is proof of it. This is documented proof. So well, congratulations to you and all the folks in the finance department.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll move on to citizen comments. Susan, have you received any comments or petitions prior to the meeting?
No, Mayor, we received none.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy, always good to see you. I don't see anything listed for the town attorney. So we will move on. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And with that, we'll move on to the town manager section. Pete, it's all yours, sir.
Well, thank you, Mayor Gross, Vice Mayor McCarty, members of council. This evening, I have only one briefing to bring before you, and I will allow Ann Contrell to introduce our guest this evening. This is regarding the Residential Water and Sewer Service Line Warranty and Water Loss Protection Program. Ann?
Thank you. So VML had reached out to us probably the beginning of the year as a program that they endorsed for the cities and counties and municipalities that participated with VML. And we had asked that we have tonight Jim Golden and Jenna Haslett to present to us different options that the town could participate in. And this would be optional insurance that our citizens could purchase outside of the town that would insure several different aspects. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to them and let them brief you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you all. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time to let Jenna and I come and present the program to you. It's just one of the many benefits that the National League of Cities has provided. And just as a quick note, the program that we're going to be talking about is only available to your homeowners and residents through your approval. So this is a program made for you folks. If you decide this isn't a right program, then we just move on. We don't start mailing into your backyards. So thank you very much. I think what two things I want to cover to start with is that two programs here we're going to talk about. First is going to be the water loss program. Typically, as you are aware, from time to time, a homeowner may call in and say, "Hey guys, my water bill is usually $100, but it's $700. What are you going to do to help me out?" Every town has a different approach on how to handle that. We're going to show you and talk to you about some options that you might be able to have to release some of that strain financially on your side and be able to provide a resource for homeowners not to take that hit either. And then the second piece, and Jenna will address that. And then the second piece, we'll talk a little bit about the Residential Service Line Warranty Program. And that is an educational program to help homeowners understand who owns what. on their property. So I'll turn it over to Jenna and let her kick it off, and then I'll jump back in a minute.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Well, as he said, thank you so much for allowing us to be with you this evening. I chuckle. I'm not sure which one of you said it, but technology, it's great when it works, and then when it doesn't, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Y'all persevered through that wonderfully. And from the sounds of it, I need to come visit Vinton because it just sounds absolutely lovely. Y'all are doing a wonderful job there. Actually did go to college. I attended university right there in Lynchburg, so not too far from y'all. So I'm somewhat familiar with that area. We went up to Roanoke a couple times, but yeah, I'm just excited to be here with you all and to share with you a little bit about the Serve-Line program, the water loss side of it. It does function slightly differently than what Jim's gonna speak with you about. So I'm just going to kind of share how the program can help both the town as well as your customers. But before I go into the details of the program, I want to just kind of highlight a few pain points that customer water leaks specifically can bring, because some of these points aren't always thought about as much or known. We often think about the water main side, the city's water, but customer water leaks can also kind of be a bit of a pain point for cities, as Jim was saying. And the first that I'd like to point out, it might be a bit obvious, as Jim said, but when a customer has a leak, there is often a high water bill that is caused by that leak. And most customers would never really expect something like their water bill to be $500, $600, $700. I've been in this industry for a little over 4 years, and I've seen residential water bills in the upper 3,000s for the extreme cases. And that's not everyone, but that's a pretty steep cost for your customers. And because they don't expect it, they don't necessarily have the funds budgeted to handle an expense of that kind. So it really hits them hard. And leaks can also cause bad debt for the city. We've seen that sometimes when a customer receives a high water bill, it's easier for them to move and take the water bill out in a different name, or just simply move to the neighboring town to another utility, rather than having to pay that water bill. And that then leaves the city in a hole, because you don't get that money anyways. And sometimes the city is willing to or able to help the customers out by putting them on a payment plan. However, when you're doing that, then it's up to your staff to enter into a bank-like role in keeping up with those customers' payments, and making sure you're actually receiving that money, because oftentimes the customer doesn't remember that. And often when a customer has a leak, it's not taken care of in one simple phone call. Usually there's multiple conversations between the customer and the staff person. There's someone going out to check if there is a leak, and it can take up quite a bit of time figuring out how to handle that situation. And that leads me to the next point, which is often the customers are left frustrated with the city, unfortunately, because even if you're able to help them in some way, oftentimes it's not really enough. If you're giving them an adjustment, sometimes cities are able to do that. They're able to give your customer an adjustment, and the town of Vinton actually does that for their customers. You give them a percentage, but oftentimes it's not viewed as being quite enough, and so that can be kind of frustrating for them too. And I believe if you all have your agendas with you, you can kind of follow along with our presentation. I'm not sure if you have it in front of you, but as I mentioned, when the town gives an adjustment, you are actually then losing that revenue. And this will be kind of the last pain point that I talk about, because you are giving your customers assistance. that is actually costing the city money. You want to be generous and you want to be able to help them because these are your friends, your neighbors that you know. They're in your town, they're attending your fall festivals and Christmas parades. So you want to be able to help them, but that's causing the city to lose money. And so that's actually where the Servine program comes in. And with our program, some of the main benefits are that your customers' high water bills that are caused by a leak are fully covered by Servine. The only thing that the customer would be responsible for would be their 12-month average bill. And the utility actually recaptures that revenue that you would have been losing by giving your customers an adjustment. So also the problem of customers moving and leaving the town with bad debt is reduced. Most of the utilities in the cities that we see implement this program, they see that particular stat decrease because customers are able to actually get their water bills paid for when they have them. We also see that when the Servine program is implemented, the staff workload surrounding customer water leaks is reduced, and the program really helps to simplify issues surrounding customer water leaks. The staff is able to simply say, when a customer calls in, absolutely, we have a program in place to help you with that. Just call the Servine customer service number and they'll take care of that for you. And then we handle things on our end to help pay for those customers' high water bills. And customers are also educated on what their responsibility is, because many customers, and Jim will touch on this a little bit more, but they don't actually know what their responsibility is. And so when they see that high water bill, they're not even sure if it's their responsibility to pay for it. So it can be a little bit of a frustration for them when they figure out it is indeed their responsibility. So ultimately, the program really helps to provide a peace of mind for your customers that, you know, if they do experience a leak, if they have that happen, there is a solution in place already there for them to help them solve that problem. And just kind of to sum it up, Servine is an insurance-backed program, and it's a program that really helps cities protect their customers. And we do that by ensuring your policy and then administering the program on your behalf. And if you're following along on the next page of the little presentation, you'll see just kind of where I'm going. So if a city chooses to work with us, we would help to create an educational brochure that would be sent out to your customers, and that would notify them of when the program would be starting, how much the program was going to cost, and it would give them a dedicated customer service phone number to call for any questions that they might have, or to let us know if they do not wish to participate in the program. It is absolutely optional for the customers, and they can opt out at any time. However, it does initially begin by protecting everyone, protecting all of your customers up front, unless they choose to decline participation. This is simply to make sure that no one is going to fall through the cracks, that everyone's protected on the front end in case they're the one that has a leak. They might not have seen the information to sign up for it. So we want to make sure that everyone's participated. And also for up to a year of the program being in place, if someone happened to miss the initial info that was sent out to them, notifying them of this, and would like a refund, then we're actually able to issue the refund back to the city, which then you could then apply to that particular customer's account. And we want this to protect your customers. We don't want it to upset them. So we want to make sure that that's in place. There are 3 different protection limits that the town could choose from. It would be, our options are $500, $1,000, and $2,500. And the town would actually pick one limit that would apply to all your customers. And that would be the most that Servine would pay for a qualifying leak. The rates and guidelines are actually based on how the town is currently handling leak adjustments. And we have been working with you all, and we would work with your staff to fine tune a leak protection program that's really the best fit for your community specifically. We do tailor this to every city and every utility that we work with, because every utility's needs are slightly different. And now the billing for the LEAP program is actually done through the city. So this is maybe one of the biggest differences between the LEAP program and the service line program, in that our billing is actually done through the utility, because we work with your staff to collect customers' billing history, and we are actually making the city whole with the reimbursement check. The town staff would then apply that reimbursement check to the customer's bill. Now, the town can choose to add an admin fee to the serve line rate if you would like. We've had utilities add 10 to 15 cents to the rate in order to offset the small amount of administration work that is involved, or some have chosen to add that revenue to the general fund to be used for other purposes. Most of our utilities that we work with probably choose to leave the rate as is, but we do have some that have added to it as well for an admin fee. And then the last thing I'll mention before turning it over to Jim is that we have provided both Brandon and Susan a proposal with specific rates for you all. However, for the sake of y'all's time this evening, we're not going to walk through that specifically tonight. However, if you would like, I would be more than happy to attend another session in the future after you've had some time to review that and review the rates, and answer any questions at that time that you might have regarding rates specifically. And after Jim speaks, we can answer any questions you might have as well. But at this time, I'll just go ahead and turn it over to Jim.
Great, thank you, Jen, I appreciate it. Also, just following along with the agenda and the presentation that you all have in there. Again, what we're talking about now is a separate program that is optional for the city to participate in, or the town to participate in, and also optional for homeowners to participate in. The biggest takeaway, or the piece that you need to understand, is that most of the lateral lines, the water and the sewer line, whether they be on the public side or the private side, they're subject to the same kinds of all kinds, whether it be temperature variations, ground fluctuating, root penetration, and so on. You guys are dealing with it and maintaining your main lines, but those main lines are also much lower in the ground than the residential side is. So the residential side seems to get hit with more of these types of pieces, but the reality is that those lines are out of sight and out of mind, and it's about 67% of homeowners think that it's the city, the town, or the utility that's responsible for the lines coming all the way up into their home. So what we try to do, first and foremost, is educate homeowners on their responsibilities. Let them know what's what. We only mail to homeowners. There is no outbound calling unless it's service related. Each of the mailings that go out, you folks have full approval over that messaging so that you know what's being said and what's not. But the biggest piece is that those failed water lines, whether it be on the freshwater side, and we have a water loss situation, somebody is losing money on that, that creates a problem for the homeowner. And then the other side is on the sewer side, it's purely a contamination issue. You have now that septic issues leaching out into the groundwater potentially. Most, as I mentioned before, most homeowner misconceptions are that, oh, I'll just call the city, they'll run a truck out and take care of it for me. And as you know, that's not what happens. So now what happens is you end up having to say to a homeowner, hey, I'm so sorry, that's on your side. We're not going to be able to help you with that. Maybe you'll give them a contractor or two. But that homeowner is in a stressful situation. Could be their front yard is a geyser, reaching up. They don't know what to do. If they reach out to a contractor on their own right now, that contractor hears that it's an emergency. The typical $75 average national show-up fee goes up to $150 for every hour that contractor is on site. We're thousands of dollars into it. The homeowner hasn't even had a repair done to it yet. So, a little bit of a different program. If you're following along and you scroll back down, you'll see the solutions for municipalities. And I'm going to talk just shortly here about coverages, so you get a quick idea. First, let me talk about, we have over 880 municipalities that are participating in the National League of Cities residential water and sewer line program. The value of this is, it doesn't matter if your community is 33 households or it's 3 million households. This is national pricing. We've been able to leverage all of our partners' volume and be able to provide high coverage policy at the lowest possible rate. One thing that we need to keep in mind is that this is not an insurance program. This is a warranty program. If this was an insurance program, and there aren't any out there that we can find right now, but if there were one, and you had a water emergency, you would have to call your insurance company, get 2 or 3 quotes, wait for them to come back, maybe give you 60, 70% of the bill. And in the meantime, you've had to handle that entire stressful process. Ours is a warranty. You pay for water, $5.25 a month. There are no additional fees. If you have an emergency, you call up a dedicated 800 number to Vinton. And if it's an emergency, a contractor will be on site within an hour. If it's a non-emergency, it's scheduled by the homeowner. The beauty of this is we're using your local plumbers. We want to help support local economic development. So we're not bringing in outside contractors, and we're not bringing in outside, national brands. We're using the mom and pops. And if they need assistance with equipment or funding and financing, we have programs to assist them with that as well. So the first component of the program is mailings, about 3 per year, that help the homeowner understand their responsibilities. It's a very graphic kind of a mailing that shows the house, shows the plumbing, and shows the main water lines, and lets them know which ones is their responsibilities and which ones are not. If a homeowner decides that they would like to participate in the program, they get up to $8,500 coverage per incident. Now, I want to point out here, $8,500 per incident. What does that mean? Well, we give our contractors, your local contractors, carte blanche to go out and repair whatever that homeowner's problem is. So we give them to say, hey guys, you got $8,500, go take care of it. If it's beyond $8,500, give us a call. We just need to, manage the process, make sure the contractor's not taking anyone for advantage. Now, the difference is that when our contractors arrive, they're there to replace that water or sewer line, not to patch it. Patching, a contractor, he'll come out, let's say you have 100-foot of water line out there and you got a hole, contractor's going to come out, dig a hole, patch that line, hope you get another leak in the next year and be back out again. In our program, we're providing 1 year's worth of full replacement coverage for less than that $75 1-hour show-up fee. We're providing that replacement coverage for an entire year. So it doesn't make sense for us at $5.25 a month to run multiple trucks throughout the course of the year. So that's why we work under the replace versus repair. So as you folks are working to upgrade the public infrastructure, we're going to be assisting homeowners with upgrading their private side. And that's up to current code. Okay. So if it doesn't have a clean out and it needs a clean out, we're going to put a clean out in there for you. If there are any additional fees that are required, whether it be street cutting, police on the scene, road closure, all covered, any permitting, all covered under the program. There are no annual or lifetime limits. So if a homeowner in the course of a year ends up with $30,000 worth of work, they're going to get $30,000 worth of protection. The reality is, though, they'll never get to that point because we're just replacing and putting new lines in. So it would never get to that high. So no additional deductibles, no service fees, no forms, no paperwork. All they need to do is call the 800 number and a truck is on a roll. We have 2 call centers, one in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and one in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. 24/7, 365, full emergency response capabilities. And again, those repairs are only made by licensed contractors. So we're working to make sure that when a homeowner has an emergency, that they know exactly how the process will proceed from that point on. They get texts from the contractor showing what a picture of the contractor looks like, what the truck looks like, so that homeowner knows what services are on the way. Kind of keeping moving down in it now to give you some ideas of your options in terms of the program. There is no cost to the town to offer this program at all. In fact, you have an opportunity again to use this program as a revenue stream. But there's 3 product offerings: the freshwater line, the sewer line, and then the internal plumbing and draining of a house. Those things are not covered by homeowners and clearly not covered by you folks. So if the town decides that they would like to receive a royalty, the town could receive 50 cents per product per month as long as that policy is in place. So this isn't something, y'all, that you're going to get rich on. This is more that you've got a funding that you can put in a bucket that is non-traditional, non-tax driven dollars that you can use at your discretion. We've seen it go towards ambulances, park benches, helping the 90-year-old ladies whose front porch fell down. It's money that's there for you all to take advantage of. If you choose not to take, and that would be fine, with that 75 cent or 50 cent royalty for a water line, we're talking about $5.75 a month. Okay. If you extrapolate that out, we're talking about $64 a month with you guys getting a 50 cent royalty, and that homeowner is 100% protected throughout the course of that year. If you opt not to take that royalty, then the homeowner would pay $5.25 because the discount goes directly back to those homeowners. The homeowner has the option to pick whether they want water, sewer, or the internal plumbing and draining. Now, not that we recommend this, but as a kind of an idea. Let's say a homeowner calls up, signs up for the program, they're in month 2. And let's say you've opted not to receive the royalties. So they paid $10.50 for the program. They have a fresh water line break. They call into the 800 number, truck rolls, we get a brand new water line in there, and we let the homeowner know that you're now, this line is guaranteed and warranted for 1 year. You no longer need to continue your payments because you've got a warranty. They just got an entire water line replaced for $10.50. So there are advantages here that are very huge. To give you an idea of who is the most interested in this program to start out with, it's first-time home buyers and fixed income. They can't take a $6,500 sewer replacement. But interestingly enough, this very closely behind is the affluent neighborhoods. They figure for $64, why would I not take the risk? What we do see in terms of claims is that our highest number of claims is on the sewer line, not on the water line. And it does come from that first time and fixed income brackets. So we're really saving folks a lot of money on it. So it's just kind of a recap here. Educational program primarily, with your 100% prior approval before any of the 3 mailings go out. We will provide you with website information. We do not need your customer data information, so you're not crossing any lines with that. We'll do our own. This is optional for a homeowner. They can cancel at any time. It's optional for you folks. If the program is not something that you feel is what you wanted in 6 months or a year, you have the option to bail out of it as well. So really, we're here to support your needs and your recommendations for the program. Just to give you a quick overview here, in the last 3 years, we've provided 1.9 million customers with water-related services through local contractors. Now, the next 3 are the important kind of takeaways. Out of that 1.9 million, 1.6 currently have water line services. 940,000 have sewer line services. But as I mentioned before, our claims show that the most claims are on the sewer side. And that's where the big hit is. So we're really working to educate homeowners that the sewer side is something that they really need to pay attention to. Now, when I say sewer and freshwater line coming in, that is synonymous with well and septic. We provide coverage on that as well. So for those folks that aren't hard piped, they have the program as well for well and septic. So out of that, currently we've done over 355,000 water related repairs, saving homeowners about $192 million. And that's that difference between that $64 annual fee versus a $2,500 freshwater line replacement or a $6,500 sewer line replacement. So, that's it kind of in a nutshell. I've attached in the presentation, I won't go through them, but I've attached in there the current Virginia partners. You will notice that there's an area to the right that talks about whether it's a home serve or a National League of Cities partner. I wanted to make sure that you were clear that Home Serve is the parent company that partners with the National League of Cities to provide these services. We also provide services directly through Dominion, but it is just energy services. Water and sewer are much more closer to you folks, and we want you guys to have the opportunity to make that decision or not on it. So, as a wrap up, you've got Jenna and I's contact information. You've got proposal details that you can review for the serve line water loss piece. We're more than happy to have a follow-up call to walk through those details. The residential service line protection program is something that is certainly, you've got the information that is something that if you wanted to make a decision on tonight, you could. However, if you'd like to wait and do a combined package on that, that's certainly something for you all as well. So I think I've covered just about everything, and if I can open it up to any questions, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that presentation. I've got a couple of questions, and I imagine some council members will have also. Very exciting program. And Jim, just so that you'll understand, typically our process includes a 2-week waiting period. So after we receive the briefing as we have tonight, and very good job, by the way, then this will come up at our next council meeting for an actual vote, So I do have just a couple of questions I wanted to ask, and then I'll open it up to council and see if they have any. I want to make sure that I understood. There was a place in here where I read something about 2,500. I think I may have misinterpreted. That's not a sewer repair, because you said that would be up to 8,500. So the 2,500 is just for adjustment in the water bill. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure about that. And would there be any waiting period for our folks? Let's say we implemented the program in January. Is there any kind of waiting period, or is that almost immediate, or how's that work?
And thank you. And I meant to mention that there is a 30-day waiting period from the time someone first signs up. And the reason for that is we're trying to eliminate those first selectors that are just looking for somebody to go in and repair whatever is wrong with their home.
Gotcha.
So we're really trying to get those in need taken care of, and then, kind of move on from that.
Great. That sounds certainly sounds reasonable to me. And then one last question. Obviously, the water bill goes out to the occupant. In Vinton, we have a fair number of rental units. So who actually signs up for the program? Is the property owner or the renter? And I mean, how does all that work? Would the benefits be paid to the property owner if there was a problem?
I guess there's two answers to that question. One would be the water loss, and one would be the sewer line protection. On the sewer line protection, it's usually the homeowner that's looking to make to obtain that policy on it, because ultimately they're the ones that are going to be paying the bill on it. And then Jenna, I'll let you answer on the water loss.
So for the water loss side, whoever the water bill's name is in would be the one that would decide if they wanted to participate in the program or not.
Okay. So if a property owner wanted this protection, I mean, how would that work? Would we just bill them annually or something, or is that still billed on the water bill?
Yeah, the service line warranty side of it, we handle all the billing, we handle all the marketing, so there is no touch on your side other than approving the marketing materials. So no extra work, we handle all the heavy loads, and if we have any billing issues, we deal directly with the homeowner on it. Water loss, a little bit different, we're dealing with you folks directly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, water loss, it's a month-to-month case, and so they are billed month-to-month, so that way they can choose month-to-month whether or not they'd like to continue participating or not for that time period, because they can also opt out and come back in at any time with a 30-day wait period.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And the only other comment I have is that I first of all, I think it's a very valuable program. But in particular, I think that educational piece is really valuable. I think that's something that we could certainly use. So that may kill two birds with one stone there. So
Yes.
I like that. Yeah. And by the way, we did talk about this in Finance Committee. So, Mike, I assume you've got some comments about this.
I do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I think it's a great program. I'm not. And actually the royalty side of it is, the town getting a royalty or not, but I do think that offering the citizens, I think it's a great opportunity because, that is a sticker shock when you find out that you have that break, and most plumbers, most people just want the leak fixed. In this case, where they come in and fix the whole line. And I think it's a great program, and I think it's something that we can decide between now and the next council meeting, which area we go, which section we go with. I do think it's a great program.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Any other council members have comments or questions or anything?
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
Actually, I guess this would be for Mr. Golden. So if the customer wanted the water and the sewer and the internal plumbing, you're talking about $21.99 a month,
Yes.
and then plus the leak protection. Is that correct?
Yes, but the homeowner would be looking at those as two separate items, so
Okay.
they'd have the ability to check both. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mayor, I would think the program is a good benefit to our citizens as well. I think one of the, especially the education piece, and one of the misconceptions that people think is if they do have a water leak or break outside, that their homeowners is going to cover that, and that's the sticker shock is when I think we cover at the street, and then the homeowner covers from the street to the house, and then the insurance covers inside of the house if there's any damage inside of the house. So a lot of folks think that if their water line breaks outside that it's covered. So this is a really good, never heard of this before, so it seems like a really good protection for our citizens.
Keith, you bring up a good point because the homeowners don't understand it until they're into it too deep, and they get scared, and all of a sudden they don't know what to do. So at least you've taken that emergency flight kind of feeling away from them to go, oh, okay, good. I can sit back and make a sound decision on which way we move forward.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just the educational piece of it is going to be a benefit to the citizens, and then the protection is a no-brainer. So,
yeah, I agree. Anyone else?
I would just, I'm in banking, so, this is very intriguing to me because I feel like I need you guys to come and speak to first-time homebuyers in a session, because that would just be awesome. I wish I had had that when I purchased my first home several years ago in Benton. But I do think that this sounds very, very good and interesting, and seems to be something that we definitely need to offer to our citizens. So thank you. I
Thank you all.
appreciate your time and your awesome presentation tonight.
Wonderful. I would like to say too, if I can, the VML is wonderful, and they've been so great in helping put together their service line program. I also wanted to mention, I forgot at the beginning, the Virginia Rural Water Association. Also, the Servine program is an affinity partner of Virginia Rural Water. So I don't know if you all ever do anything with them, but they've been great in helping us understand just rural water and what communities need and how to help residents when those high water bills come up. So I just wanted to mention that for you all as well.
Great. All right. Anyone else? All right. Thank you, folks. Great presentation. And Pete, with that, I'll turn it back over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Mayor. Jenna, Jim, thank you both for your presentation. Council, I believe that Ann will have some additional information that she will submit out to Council for your consideration regarding some of the rate structure of the programs that you were presented this evening. So you can look forward to receiving some slightly different or expanded information before we bring back for Council's consideration for action. Thank you. I have 3 items for items requiring action this evening. The first of which Council was briefed on at last council meeting. This is consideration of a resolution to adopt an updated purchasing policy for the town. And I believe Ann will present that item to Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, members of council and mayor. Appreciate your time tonight. We did brief last meeting on the purchasing policy. We do have some recommendations for some minor changes to our small purchases. Our original limit was purchases of 1,000 and less need a single quote. We're asking that to go to 5,000 and less. Purchases between 5,000 and 20,000 will be made with 2 quotes. 20,000 to 50,000 will be 3 quotes, and 50,000 to 100,000 will be 4 quotes. And our large purchases, we didn't make any changes to that, and we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. But the biggest reason for this change is that due to our small staff size, we felt that raising the limit was a benefit to being able to accomplish projects in a timely manner, and so something that our staff could do and do well, and still provide a financial benefit to the town.
Okay. Thank you, Ann. I'd like to just briefly mention, as I often do, but for anyone that might be attending tonight, might be watching, typically the way our system works, our procedure works like this, in that an item is introduced to council. Usually it's already gone through a committee, and then we receive a briefing, just as we did earlier tonight, and then it comes back for a final vote. So, if you're not aware of that and see an item like this come up in a quick vote, you might think that it hasn't been deeply vetted or considered, but in fact it's gone through quite a process before it even gets to this level. So just wanted to explain that. So council, any questions or comments concerning this resolution?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make the motion regarding the resolution.
All right. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any comments? We have a motion and a second. Susan, if you could call roll, please.
Councilmember Lyles,
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins,
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty,
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Resolution passes. Pete?
Thank you, Mayor Gross. The next item requiring action this evening is the consideration of adoption of a resolution to execute a license and service agreement with Tyler Technologies Incorporated for our Munis software. And I also believe that Ms. Cantrell is going to provide some details to council regarding this item. This is an item that is made a reality because of the CARES Act funding. Ann?
Thank you. And so tonight we're asking for authorization, which would allow Mr. Peters to sign the contract with Munis or Tyler Technologies. This is a software that we currently already have in a limited capacity. We currently use this for our tax and for our cashiering related to that system. It is hosted on the Roanoke County server. And one of the reasons that we are looking to improve this is during March to April and May, when we were working fully from home, we had several connectivity issues to our other software. We had instances where we weren't able to get utility bill account balances for a week. So we were trying to handle customer requests without being able to get the data. We had other issues where we couldn't fully go remote because the software is so old it doesn't have an option for our employees to log in and get their pay stubs and to get their leave balances. Even if you're on ACH, you still get a printed stub that says how much your vacation and leave balance is. And so that's something that Munis offers, where we could eliminate the stub and that we would have a portal for our employees where they could log in and get that information. And one of the things that we do or are excited about is that it also covers utility billing. So this will enhance some of the different billing options that we can provide. For example, if you're coming to the Town of Vinton office right now, we have separate registers, so you need to go to one location to pay your water bill, and then we'll see you at a different location for your tax bill. And going to the same software will kind of blend everything together, where now you can pay your water and your tax all at one counter and one situation with one person. So we're hoping that it will improve for our employees, benefit the citizens with their experience. And it's something that we knew we probably needed to improve for quite some time. The system that we used in the background is AS400 based, but based on the experience that we experienced during COVID-19 and working from home, it really escalated that we needed to do something. We needed to go ahead and tackle this software. So we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. I think one of the things we do need to let you know tonight is we will not be able to accomplish the full software conversion by December 30th. The software conversion will take approximately 18 to 20 months to complete. We have worked with the company to do a lot of the billing and get several things billed by December 30th, but this will probably take into the next year to fully integrate into the software. So about $115,000 to $150,000 of the cost will hopefully be covered by CARES. So that will leave us with another $150,000 or so to cover ourselves as the Town of Vinton. So we are planning to put this in the CIP budget for fiscal year 2021, with Mountain View coming off on that. And there may be some other mechanisms to fund, but we did want to make sure that you were aware of that tonight.
And I just wanted to add, this is on the state contract, if not mistaken, so it expedites the procurement process.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Council, you have any questions or comments? If not, we will entertain a motion for adoption of the resolution as presented by Ann.
I make a motion to adopt.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Okay, I think the motion was by Vice Mayor McCarty. I'm not sure who made the second there, so.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So, Susan, if you'd call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lyles,
Yes.
Councilmember Mullins,
Yes.
Councilmember Stovall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McCarty,
Yes.
Mayor Gross.
Yes. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, Mayor Gross and members of council. I really do appreciate that consideration. This is truly going to bring us up to the 21st century in regards to our financial software package. We were quite antiquated, and that became a real eye-opener for us during the COVID situation. So this is really going to make us more efficient and probably expand our abilities in ways we're not even sure that exist yet. So we look forward to this opportunity And the CARES Act funding is really making this more attainable than ever. So it's a great opportunity to move forward. So thank you for that consideration. The last item requiring action this evening is an ordinance to authorize hazard pay for public safety employees and gratitude bonus for our full-time and part-time employees. And it is a little bit of a complicated funding structure, so I'm going to ask a couple of staff members to tag team this presentation for the remainder of the item. And first, I'm going to ask Donna Collins, our HR manager, to provide a breakdown of the different funding categories and how we came up with that bonus in hazard pay for the positions that we'll discuss. And then Ann will follow up with an area of how we're able to fund this with the two funding sources. So Donna, if you will kick us off, and then Ann can pick it up from there.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council, you have before you an ordinance for approval of hazard pay and gratitude bonus pay for the town employees. And hazard pay would be for sworn public safety employees, and that is in line with the requirements outlined in the CARES Act, and that would be $2,000 per public safety employee for sworn officers. The remainder of the staff would be given, we have 2 employees in emergency services that would be given a combination of a gratitude bonus hazard pay, which would be funded from both the town and the CARES Act. And these are specific to their position and job duties through this COVID-19 pandemic. That would be a $1,500 payout plus 40 hours of awarded leave. Now, the awarded leave that you're going to hear me talk about in the next few outlined positions is basically, the town had a limited amount that we could work with as far as gratitude bonus for staff. So to equate some of that, we decided that 40 hours of awarded leave that staff could use through the end of December of 2021 would equate some of that to equal out what we were able to do under the CARES Act for the public safety officers. So emergency services will get $1,500 payout plus the 40 hours of awarded leave. Public works field employees, the employees that went out and worked on water breaks and streets and such, will receive a gratitude bonus of $1,000 plus 40 hours of awarded leave. Full-time employees will receive a gratitude bonus of $700 plus full 40 hours of awarded leave. And part-time employees will receive a gratitude bonus of $250. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. These amounts, as a note, these amounts are from the period of March 20th through July 24th of this year. And, if we had an employee or employees that did not work that full time period, then we'll make an adjustment to allocate that accordingly.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Council, I have one or two brief comments, but I'll turn it over to you first. Do you have any comments or questions concerning this ordinance?
I love it. Anything we can do for our employees, especially during this time, to reward them and thank them for the hard job that they've had to endure during this. I think all of us.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I do.
I agree.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Keith on that. As long as you've known me, you guys know that I like to take care of the employees. So when this was discussed, I thought how awesome for us to be able to do that for our employees, to continue to take care of them during this crazy year that we're going through. So hopefully we'll get to December 31st when we turn the page to 2021. We can do some more exciting things, but for right now, I'm glad that we have this available to award them for their efforts during this crazy time. So thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just let me say, and I agree with of course, the Vice Mayor and Councilmember Lyle, but, you know, the one avenue that I look at is that, you know, we all know that we went through that period there where we didn't know really what COVID could do. And, you know, we know that a lot of work was done. A lot of people did a lot of different things. And, you know, just to say a thank you. And you know, I think it shows a lot as far as the town is concerned for all the different employees. And you know, the vacation week also. So, I mean, that's, you know, I mean, both of those. And so, but I thank every employee for everything that they did, like, you know, the other council members.
Agreed. Lori?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. They deserve it, and I appreciate the public safety and public works and everybody that were out the whole entire time. And we have the best employees, so I'm glad we can do this.
Yes, I agree. I'm just really thrilled we can do this. I certainly want to thank our entire staff for the dedication that's been displayed by each of our employees during this difficult time of the COVID pandemic, and sacrifices and adjustments that each of them have had to make personally and professionally. I think the town is very fortunate and really truly blessed to have engaged, caring and hardworking staff at actually at every level. And I personally could not be more proud of the team that we have. And I think that's what really makes Vinton go, is that we work as a team. And they've accomplished all this in a very gracious manner. And I appreciate the way that they've handled this entire situation. And I think the town will emerge from this pandemic stronger. And you know, there again, it's our staff, each and every one of our employees that have made this possible. So I'm really thrilled that we can do this. To me, this is kind of putting our money where our mouth has been, because we've talked about what a great job our staff is doing. So this is a real tangible proof that we do really appreciate it. So, with that, we will entertain the motion to approve the ordinance as presented.
Mayor,
Sorry, not being able to see everybody. I'm sorry.
So I know we got a motion. Was that the Vice Mayor?
Yep, it was the Vice Mayor. I was just going to say, she's made the motion, but it's truly an honor, and this is one of those times that you're on council that you get to make a decision that affects a lot of people that really deserve it, and I'm honored to be a second.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that. Susan, if you would call the roll, please.
Councilmember Lyles,
Definitely.
Councilmember Mullins,
You're on mute, Lori.
Sorry, guys. Yes, absolutely.
Councilmember Stovall,
absolutely.
Vice Mayor McCarty,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Gross.
Yes, absolutely.
Mayor Gross, members of the council, once again, I want to thank you for your consideration. And on behalf of the employees, appreciate all you do to support our employees and support us in our daily tasks. So thank you very much.
You bet.
I do have a few updates to provide under project updates and comments. I won't go into great detail, but please feel free to ask questions if you'd like me to provide some additional comments. But there's just a few items I thought I would update you on. On continuing the theme of CARES Act funding, we will be bringing forward to council September 15th the part two of the funding that we will be receiving from Roanoke County. We anticipate the county carrying that forward to their board of supervisors at their next meeting, and we will have to follow suit to accept or enter into that agreement with the county to take on that additional part two funding. So that would get us up to that $1.4 million threshold, which is allowing us to do much of the work that we've discussed earlier tonight. Housing rehab, I did mention to council last time that we were unfortunately unsuccessful in getting the Cleveland Avenue Housing Rehabilitation Grant from DHCD. However, we did have a very encouraging meeting with DHCD yesterday to debrief on our application. So we met with their program manager and our housing specialist, and we reviewed our application, and they gave us some pointers. And while our scoring didn't rank in the competitive nature that we had hoped with the other communities that were funded, we did learn some very valuable information as part of that debriefing yesterday, and realized that we weren't very far off at all from getting funding. So we are optimistic that we will learn from that debriefing yesterday, and we will polish up our application and plan to resubmit in late October. And so they would only slightly delay us in hopes that if we were to be successful in this reapplication cycle, that we could get underway still within maybe an early springtime period. So I heard some really good comforting news yesterday to kind of ease our concerns that we were disappointed not getting the funding, but I think we have a pretty good stance to move forward and get that in the future. A couple items regarding Glade Creek Greenway construction. Many of you and a lot of citizens perhaps have been driving on Gus Nix Boulevard and noticing the construction activity there at the athletic fields below Billy Bird and across from Gishtis Mills. So I just wanted to provide some comments that is the construction of the extension of Glade Creek Greenway. And this portion of the Greenway will have a trailhead, a terminus there along Gus Nix Boulevard at the athletic fields, and will meander around Glade Creek Greenway and terminate at this initial phase at the park. And then phase 2B will connect to Walnut Avenue and the original phase that's already on the ground. So there is a tangent project working with relocating a sewer line as a part of that greenway. So there's two concurrent projects going on in the same vicinity. So I just wanted to bring that to council's attention and to any of our citizens who are watching to give them an update on that construction. Crosswalk update. So the work through our PSEP grant that we received from VDOT, the Hardy and Vineyard crosswalk intersection improvements have been completed. And some of you may have seen the construction and activity on Pollard, Gus Nix, and Washington Avenue intersections. And the push button signals actually just went up today. So you've seen curb ramp improvements and then some infrastructure going in place. So we're hoping within the next 30 days or so that project will be wrapped up, and those two intersections will become active and usable by the citizens. And the good timing in particular for the one at Gus Nix and Pollard, because it will align really well with the opening of the Vineyard Station project. Also, something to keep on your radar is Roanoke County and the Virginia Department of Health has reached out, and they're coordinating some public COVID testing dates to be held within Vinton. And there'll be more details to come, but as that information is provided, and I will submit that to council. The first date that we have tentatively set is September 23rd, and this would take place as a drive-through testing location at the Vinton War Memorial. But as more details are available, I will provide that on to council. Let's see, there's two more items. I want to thank Public Works for their work. They've been working down the Walnut Avenue to maintain and attend to some stormwater infrastructure assets that we have within that community of Gladetown along the Walnut Avenue corridor. And so in anticipation of the high water or potential for high water this past weekend, they worked hard to get down to that location and attend to some drop inlets and some backflow preventers. So I just wanted to thank them for that extra attention. And the last item that we'll update on is the staff in consultation with the chief of police. We are monitoring several bills that are of potential concern for the town, particularly with the public safety that are going through various committees within the State General Assembly. So we are actively monitoring those, and we were keeping a close eye in consultation with our counterparts throughout the state. And we perhaps may be suggesting or recommending to council that we write letters to our representatives to oppose or at least draw their attention to some of the impacts that these bills could be having on our locality. So I will continue to provide updates as necessary for those, but I just wanted to draw your attention that we are monitoring those and seeking counsel from our counterparts around the state on what those potential impacts are. So with that being said, I think that is all the updates that I have this evening, unless you have any particular questions.
Okay, Pete, thank you very much. Council, you have any questions for Pete? No. All right, I don't see anything listed under the reports this evening, so I just want to make a few brief comments under the mayor section. You folks probably know that VML, Virginia Municipal League, produces a magazine called Virginia Town and City. And this month, the inside cover was a really nice picture concerning Vinton, part of our staff, the committee that won the safety awards. So our statewide recognition for that, I thought that was really great. And like I said, on the inside cover, I think most of council, well, I guess all of council gets that magazine, so you want to be sure to look that up. So again, congratulations and thank you to our committee for all the hard work. Yeah, award-winning work. Thank you, folks, for that. Of course, Labor Day weekend coming up. I hope everyone has a very joyful and safe Labor Day weekend. Much of our work and even our council meeting kind of evolves around the COVID-19 situation now, and it seems to occupy a lot of our time. I think it's worth repeating and reiterating that all of the activities that we talked about earlier will be conducted in compliance with the restrictions and the regulations and even the suggestions concerning COVID-19. That's very important. We want to try to keep things going in Vinton as much as possible, but it is very important, vital for everyone to know that we strive to be in compliance. Well, I'm going to go there tonight. I'm going to mention this. You guys know I don't like politics, and I certainly don't like party politics. I stay away from it. So this is not meant to be political at all. But we've heard 2 or 3 things tonight concerning the CARES Act. And I just think everyone should know that, at least in my opinion, that act is working. I mean, the money that we have received as a town cannot be spent to pay off debt or anything like that. You know, the intention was to boost the economy during this difficult time, and that's what this is doing. You know, when we talk about the list of stuff that we plan to do with the CARES Act money, everything from software to possible replacement of doors with no contact doors, automatic open doors and stuff like that. It's all very important items and things that generate money, generate business for our contractors and people in the economy. It keeps the economy going because that money doesn't stop here in the town. It flows through the town to those businesses and to those contractors. And so I just think that government often, particularly state and federal government, gets kicked around. And I just think that they deserve a little credit on this. They deserve a little love because I think the CARES Act is working and that can be evidenced by some of the things that we're doing with that money here in town. So I'm very appreciative that that act passed and that the money is flowing through the town back out into the economy. Okay, and with that, I will turn it over to council for comments. So tonight I will start with our Vice Mayor McCarty.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. I do have a few. I want to congratulate again the Finance Committee and Ann and her team for their achievement of excellence. You guys never let us down. You keep going forward. Sometimes that can be stressful with all of those. So you're doing an awesome job to keep it continuing on. I want to thank Angie and Chastity for joining us tonight and their enthusiasm for the events that are going to be taking place in the community in the upcoming months. Fall and Christmas are my favorite times of the year, so for them to be talking about that tonight made me happy. Makes me look forward to a bunch of stuff going on, be able to attend. And I also want to thank Pete. We received a very detailed email from about the mayor's update, and it was very informative. And it's hard sometimes to let everybody know what's going on, but you know, that was an awesome email. I greatly appreciate you taking the time out to do that and to keep all of us on board with what's going on. So I appreciate that one. I hope to see more in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Sabrina. Pete came up with the idea. We've been struggling for quite some time. We wanted to come up with a method to get the information out to council. And I agree. I think he did an awesome job on that. And that is our plan going forward, to provide council with those updates. That way everyone has the information and they can ask detailed questions from that outline. So, okay, Councilmember Lyles, do you have anything further this evening?
Not a whole lot, Mayor. Just I hope everyone has a nice Labor Day weekend coming up. And again, I'm just really thrilled that we were able to do something for the staff, for the fabulous job that they not only done during this, but just this is a reward for them for just being an awesome staff all the time, not just during a pandemic. And then also congratulations to Ann and her team for the award and the public safety award, or mention in VML magazine. I think that's great also. So it's a wonderful town we live in.
Yes, yes it is. Thank you, sir. You're exactly right. Laura, you have anything further this evening?
Yes, sir. I'll start with the serious stuff. Thank you guys for Donna and Pete and everybody behind the scenes who worked quickly or what seemed like to us quickly once we heard about it, to get the CARES Act money, the hazard pay, and the bonuses. That was quick and it's going to be very well appreciated and deserved by everyone. Congratulations, Ann, and your team. I know you work hard every day, and it's been even more so lately. And so now the fun stuff. When Angie was talking about the red bubble with the Benton decoration, I've ordered from them before. They have every design, anything you could want, any topic, any hobby, and it's going to be exciting to go on there and see our Benton painting. I like that. I'm gonna go in there and look, and maybe get me a mask or two. And I'm starting to think about that Christmas parade, and I don't want to be an elf. So how can I get on the judging part? I like that. I like to judge.
You can always be either an elf or you can be an elf or Mrs. Claus. So whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm more about judging.
Let me say something.
Who do I need to speak to?
You don't want to do that. The worst thing I ever did one time, judge the doggy pageant.
Oh yeah. I did too, Lori. It's hard.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I got a text today about doing that.
Oh, no, well, do it. It's for me.
Oh yeah, you loved it, so I can tell.
Hardest things you could ever do, because you want them all to win. And,
exactly.
Yeah. It's hard.
That's great, Lori. I'm sure they fix you up for being a judge, but I agree with Keith. That can get tricky when you're
right.
The doggy show. That's for sure. All right, thank you for that, Councilmember Stovall. You have anything further this evening?
I do, sir. First off, back to the CARES Act, and I just want to say to staff, to you, my fellow council members, the CARES Act money, and then with that in mind, the next thing we add is that week's vacation, to give employees that opportunity. I mean, that just shows, naturally, the love that we all have. Once again, thank you to the employees, but, just to say, hey, take a week off, take a week off and have the opportunity to spend that time with family or whatever you'd like to do. I've said this, I'll say this many times, now being on finance, congratulations to the bean counter and her department. I mean, Ann is no doubt about it. It's top notch. I mean, even when you talk to people in the county about different things, and they bring up the fact of Ann and her staff, so they do a great job. And once again, I just want to say to everybody coming through what we've come through, and staff, staff working hard to provide for, of course, council, and then for the town. That it's just like Mr. Lyle said, it is a great place to live, and you just gotta love being here. And to Mr. Peters, thank you for the information. Thank you for the email, and Mayor for your calls. And hey, we'll keep giving it to gas and get it done for the citizens of Benton.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. You're right. I think we are all truly blessed to live in the town of Benton. Awesome place. So, and a lot of that goes because, first of all, blessings of the Lord, but things don't just happen. Our staff works hard. So I'm glad that we could go there with the extra funding. And by the way, Councilman Soball, thank you for your input concerning the vacations. And that's the way things work in town of Benton as a team. So I think that's very important. So perhaps we should close the love fest that we have going on here this evening. Is there anything further to come before Benton Town Council this evening? All right. If there's nothing further, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second. All right. All in favor, signify by turning off your computers. Thank you, folks. God bless you.
Good night, guys. Good night.